When I first went to college to get a computer science degree, and I actually decided, like I really want to code, I want to become a software developer, I had the completely wrong mindset, and I was so close to giving up so many times. And I was really fortunate that I didn't, that I actually pushed through, that my friends convinced me to, stay in the program, and that I'm making the right choice by pursuing software development as my career. But I feel like every single person that decides to learn how to code and become a software developer goes through the same things that I did, and I just want to talk about a couple of those things to kind of walk you guys through some of the more important things when it comes to learning how to code that aren't necessarily coding related, right? So the number one thing that I would recommend to anyone on this channel, and that I have recommended to people who've asked me previously, is that all you have to do is just start. Coding can be really intimidating. It can look like a lot of gibberish. It's a completely new language that you don't know, and it is pretty difficult to learn. And a lot of people spend their time on YouTube watching about people's journey, to becoming a software developer, watching these day in the life videos that are showing people, in the Facebook office eating a buffet and all this stuff, but they don't really commit to learning how to code. It's really easy to go on YouTube and watch a couple videos, but until you actually sit down, commit to a course, and spend, an hour or two really giving it a shot and learning how to code, actually typing something out, you will never be successful. It might seem pretty scary at first, but like a lot of other things, nothing worth doing isn't going to be scary. And once you actually do it, you'll realize that it really isn't that bad, and that it's definitely realistic if you put in the time and if you put in the work. It's not going to happen overnight, but if you just start and you kind of dip your toes in and then slowly you make progress, there's no reason why you shouldn't be successful. I was like that in the beginning. I was extremely terrified. When I took my first coding course, I thought, there's no way I'm going to do this. I'm going to fail for sure. And then slowly, I just didn't give up. I kept working at it. And, at the end of the day, I ended up graduating and getting a job. The second thing I want to talk about is that you have to be persistent. I would say being a software engineer kind of just boils down to this one trait. Whether you're trying to fix a coding problem and you're trying a lot of different solutions, or whether you're applying to, the 50th job, in that month, and you're not able to get any interviews or you're not getting the job, the key is to be persistent. When I was in university, we had a lot of internships. I would always apply to the top software engineering internships. I never would get them. I wouldn't even get an interview. But then slowly, I got one job, then another, and I managed to build up a resume. And then now I'm lucky enough to be working at Amazon in the US. It basically just starts with you taking the first step, iterating. When you fail, iterate again and try again, and that's it. Like I said before, all throughout university I doubted myself. I had no confidence that I would be able to finish the degree, to get a job, but with persistence you're able to do it. And so I just want to say, there's nothing special about me or anyone else working at a FAANG company or any software engineer working anywhere. There's no difference between us, and if I could do it, then there's no reason why you can't either, right? And these days, people in third world countries are learning how to code and are making good money as well. So what is your excuse if you want to do that and you live in Canada or the US or in Europe? It's so easily achievable. And the thing is, you are going to keep doubting yourself. There's no avoiding that. But if you stay persistent, if you just don't give up, then you'll get over it at some point. And then one day you'll realize something's going to click, and you'll realize, hey, you know what? I didn't make so much progress. I've learned a lot. I've actually gotten better. And then your confidence will increase as well. The third thing I want to talk about is discipline. And you can kind of use the analogy of people that go to the gym every New Year, right? They're motivated for the month of January. But then once that month is over, once the New Year's over, you're back into your daily routine, the motivation kind of runs out. And the classic New Year's resolution of going to the gym ends after that 1 month or 2 months or a couple of weeks, whatever it is, but it doesn't last forever. That's what happens if you rely on motivation. But if you rely on your discipline, then even when the motivation is not there, you will still be completing your tasks and doing what you have to do to get to where you want to be. And this definitely applies to becoming a software engineer. You're gonna have to, especially if you're not in school, if you're a bit older and you're working a full-time job, or you have kids or a wife, whatever it may be, you're gonna have to kind of put in the extra work, especially when you don't want to do it, right? Most of the time you're not gonna want to learn how to code at 8 p.m. on a Thursday, right? Because you just got home from work and you just want to watch some TV. But if you do it even when you don't want to, that's how you build a portfolio, that's how you add things to your resume and apply to jobs and eventually become a software engineer. And the last thing I just wanted to mention is that you have to have a long-term mindset. And what you're going to realize is that learning to code and becoming a software engineer, they're definitely marathons and they're not sprints. You're not going to be able to pick up a course do it for like 6 months, build one thing, and then apply to a job, get the job, and then become a software developer, right? That's not how it works. It's probably going to take over a year, maybe closer to 2 years of slow progression, but over time you're going to get there if you keep practicing, if you keep coding. Not only that, but a lot of people have this idea that every single software engineer is making like 200K, you know, multiple 6 figures. That's definitely the case for some people, but odds are if you're just learning to code right now, your first job that you get is going to be substantially lower than that. But you know, I was in the same boat. 2 years ago, I was making around $50,000 USD, and now I'm making over $150,000. Out of university, I was very demoralized because, you know, I got this job that doesn't pay that well, but you know, you realize that it's all in your hands, and if you put in the work and apply to the right jobs and you focus on the right things when you're learning, there's nothing stopping you from, you know, making that multiple six figure salary down the road. But you have to accept that the first job you're going to get is not going to be that great, but you can't let that demotivate you. You can't let that affect your process. If you stop there, then you're just going to stay stagnant and make that amount of money forever. But if you keep working, keep applying to new jobs, and just keep, you know, perfecting your craft, you can get there too. Stick with it, guys. It's definitely a long journey. If you're just starting today or you've just recently started, don't give up. There's a ton of YouTube videos. There's my channel. Leave a comment down below if you're kind of struggling with learning how to code. But the important part is that you stay disciplined, you realize it's a long-term mindset, and be persistent, guys. Don't ever give up. If you can do that, you can be a great software engineer. So guys, as always, if you've enjoyed the video, I would greatly appreciate a like or a subscription to my channel. You know, that always makes my day. Leave a comment down below if there's anything you agree or disagree with, anything you think I left out. And as always, guys, take it easy and enjoy your coding.